Sandine, and welcome to Words of Wellness. Welcome to Mr. Archibald, and our guest speaker this week is Mrs. Hamburg. Hello, Mrs. Hamburg.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm really good today. The sun is shining, the wind has died down, so all is well.
And you're outside today, coming live from outside.
Yes, live from Sugar Hill, right here today.
Nice. And how are you, Mr. Archibald? How are you this week, this day?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. It's nice outside, so it's nice to get out there and have some fun. I've been doing some walking, and we got the bikes. We dusted off the dirt off the bikes and got out there yesterday, so it's going well. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the weather is turning nice, finally. So we do have to remember that we do have to social distance, even though it's nice outside, and keep all of the recommendations in tow. Like, we have to remember all of that. So anyway, we'll get started with our interview with Mrs. Hamburg. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, Mrs. Hamburg, and you're going to know the answer easily. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I have a bee in my hair, but anyway.
Chocolate or potato chips?
Both.
What?
Well, I'm going to say both. Yes, because sometimes when I have chocolate, I'm like, I'd like some salt and vinegar chips now. And that's just how it goes. So I'm going to say,
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. Favorite thing that you bake?
Buns?
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I'll go with buns.
The big thing right now is sourdough bread because nobody can find any yeast. So apparently.
Oh my gosh.
For that. So.
Okay, so my husband has sourdough starter, and he's no fun to bake with because he has a scale. So I just follow the recipe and do what it says. He weighs everything, so it's like 300 grams. And then anyway, it's ridiculous. But he makes really good bread, but I don't want to take that long.
Good to know, though. One thing that you would like to accomplish by the end of quarantine?
Oh, paint my cupboards.
I know there's some things there that I need.
And this space, I hate painting, but I guess that's what I'd like to get done.
Yeah, that's a good task.
Yeah.
Can you name the instruments that you can play?
Yes, I can. Piano, ukulele, guitar, mandolin. That's all.
That's awesome. You're very musical.
Well.
And one thing that you love about being at WP Sandine? That's your last question. Probably the easiest.
Okay, I would say the people. That is see, now here are the tears. You're welcome, everyone. The people is my most favorite thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a people person too, so anyway. Yeah, so you did awesome. You passed with flying colors. You did great.
Yay!
With rapid fire. So, Mr. Archibald, you guys?
Yeah.
As we're going along here?
Well, Mrs. Hamburg, I've actually known you for quite a few years. I think I remember working with you in the Canwood School a little bit, or seeing you there anyways when I was there. And now in Shellbrook. And I'm just, I haven't actually heard your story on what got you into working in the schools and how that came to be and stuff. So could you share that for us today?
I would love to. So I was on maternity leave for 12 years. I never thought I would go back into the workforce. I worked at a law firm for a long, long time in Saskatoon, and then we had kids, and I was happy to stay at home forever and ever. And then I volunteered lots. My kids started school in Canwood, so I did lots of volunteering there, which I loved to do. And then I got wind that they were short EAs. So I made some phone calls. And this is a true case of it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's how I got in. Mrs. Tomporowski had my back and kind of just led me to this world that I didn't even know about. And it is my most favorite thing that I've ever done. Other than being a mom. I love being a mom, but for work-wise, this is just the greatest, my most favorite.
Awesome.
So that's how I got in, accidentally. Yeah.
Accidentally. Wonderful. And
Kinda.
we are thankful to have you in the school. We love your positivity and joy and how you exude that in when you're in there every day. So I think we even chatted a little bit about that. So appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I thought about this interview and thinking about you, and two words popped into my head, and one is resilience and the other one is hope. And considering we're in a state of emergency and in this pandemic and almost, I think, 40 days or close to 40 days, I think, obviously we're quite resilient, especially here in Saskatchewan, flattening the curve. But could you tell me a little bit about how you view those words and how they've applied to your life?
Well, yeah, those feel like big shoes to fill for sure. So can I talk about what happened, what I've been through?
Sure. Absolutely.
You can edit this out if you need to. No, so I was diagnosed. Okay. I was diagnosed with cancer on my twins' 16th birthday. I got the phone call and they said that I had, cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Anyway, so that was, I was happy that they found something because I wasn't myself for a really long time. And so anyway, but through all that, there were some really, really sad times because chemo does something to your whole everything. It kind of sucks the life out of you. I was so grateful that we had such amazing doctors, and I'm so thankful for my family that was able to kind of dig me out of the pits that I would fall into in between my treatments. And even just getting used to kind of being okay with being alone, if that makes any sense. Like I would make myself go for a walk every day. And at the beginning, I could hardly walk very far because I was really weak and just anyway. And so I put practices in my life. So I'd make sure that I would get ready every day. I would shower every day. There was a time, if you can even imagine, that I didn't wear makeup. For 21 whole days, wow. I did not wear makeup. And I didn't even care. And so, but then I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, I look like my uncle. Because I was bald. So it was just, I looked like a man. I didn't want to look like a man. So I'm like, I really should do something about this. So I'd get ready every day. I'd get dressed every day. I would do something every day so I wouldn't just wallow in my kind of sadness, because I was sad for a long time. And then, you kind of get into like a good routine, and not every day is the same. And I know that every day is kind of the same, but you kind of, I don't know, it was just, it was nice to kind of dig my way through all this and get to the other side, because I thought at one point, I'm like, I guess this is just going to be my life. I'm just going to be sad. I'm just going to be sick. And then you get through it. And it's great to have connections. It's great to have family or people that you can talk to, that can kind of, that you can bare your soul to and be totally honest with, because you can't really do that with like a huge group. I can't anyway, but just to have people in your life that you can spill all your guts to and just be yourself and say everything, no matter how horrible it is. But if you can find people that you can just say all that to, and they can kind of navigate with you through all that, was helpful to me anyway. Awesome. So
I love how you said you had a routine, even though you weren't feeling well. You still got up, you showered, you got dressed. I think that's the most important part, is having a routine, establishing that, even though you don't know what the day is going to bring, and it could be the same, more of day, like Groundhog over and over and over again. But it's nice to do, get up, get going, have breakfast and get on with it, and it evolve into whatever it will be. whatever will be.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important points that you gave us there. Thank you for that. It's good to remember.
Yeah. Well, that's what worked for me.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, like your resilience to show up and suit up every day, right? And right, and it sounds like you made some pretty big commitments internally to do that, right? And so that's huge.
Yes, because it is sometimes mind over matter. Like even if you don't feel like it, you know that it's better in the end to just do it. Because sometimes it's just, no, I just want to stay in my pajamas all day. I don't want to do anything. I am so sad. I just want to stay right here.
Right.
And then you're like, no, I don't want to feel like this for any longer. You just kind of have to push yourself, and then, oh, okay, this was way better. Because there was not one day that I said, oh, I wish I wouldn't have gone for a walk today. Every day I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I went outside. I would go outside when it was minus 45. It didn't matter. I would bundle right up and walk as far as I could and come back home. And and that's just what I did. And
that's awesome.
No regrets with that, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, so can you give us one example of how you help with, like, or how you have joy in your life? Some things that you do in that regard. How do you bring joy to your life?
Well, I would say that I do love listening to music. I love listening to happy music. And I do spend lots of time outside, and I'm not afraid to be alone either.
Right.
Like sometimes I think, like we have a spot at the bottom of our hill by a creek, and that's where I do all my phone calls to the kids in the afternoon, like to the students.
Right.
And so I have a creek running by, and so in between the phone calls, like I'll just sit there and just be okay with being by myself, if that makes. And so there's peace that kind of comes with that. And then it kind of shuts everything down, and it helps me to focus on how I'm feeling. And if it's feeling gross, that's okay. And if it's feeling great, that's okay. But instead of like trying to keep everything loud and busy, I try and just calm myself down. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what.
For sure it does.
Yeah, I just like a little bit of solitude and to be okay with being by myself, because I'm with me all the time. So I need to be good friends with myself, if that makes any sense. So yeah.
That's great. That's great mindfulness work, and that commitment to self-care, and just and you're wholeheartedly right around the whole piece around accepting our feelings right as they are and where they are, and loving ourselves for that. So good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we should probably tie this up. We are almost out of time. So what is one thing that you could maybe give a hint to for students and parents that are watching, just like, in the days ahead, and how can you bring positivity, joy, kindness, thoughtfulness, any kind of tips or tricks you could share with us that you do? Because I think that's your jam, Mrs. Hamburg. I think you are so positive and so happy and so joyful. Pleasure to be around at work. The kids like working with you, and you can just feel it when you're working.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear. What I would say is I do really, okay, I'm just going to say it. I watch what I watch. I pay attention to what I listen to. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm really protective of what I allow my eyes to see and my ears to hear. So let's say my dad is on a rant. Okay? Sometimes dads get on rants, and I'll just be like, you know what? I can't listen to this, because I am really highly emotional and really sensitive. So I don't have, some people can have an armor and be able to, like, my husband can like take in lots of stuff and it doesn't affect him.
Right.
Whereas I'm a little bit more tender, so I really have to be careful or mindful or cautious, whatever, of what I kind of allow myself to be around. So I am conscious of what words come out of my mouth and kind of the environment that I create around myself to protect myself, if that makes, because I know that I'm tender. So I need to I watch that. And not everybody is wired that way, and I totally get that. But for me, I really am careful with what I surround myself with, just because I know that's how I'm wired.
That's excellent.
And so I don't know if that, I don't know.
It's good.
I don't know if any of this makes sense.
Wholeheartedly it does. For sure it does. Setting boundaries, taking care of self. That's what we're, making connections. That's the basis for why we're doing what we're doing. So in regards to this platform and just connecting with our student body and our community body. So
for sure.
Yeah. And another thing that I would say, that if you have somebody that's on your heart or on your mind, or you're thinking about them, find a way to get a hold of them, because I don't know, there's people that pop into my head and then I phone them and they're like, this is what's going on in my life, or I'm so glad you called, or whatever. There's, I don't know, there seems to be some kind of connection with, if you're thinking of someone,
right.
Yeah, yes. I would just pay attention to those things and not just let it slide. Anyway.
Yeah. It's the connection part. I love it. It's great.
Oh, I love it. I love that word.
Yes, it's great. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Mrs. Hamburg. We enjoyed.
Thank you for having me.
You and your background and everything. Thank you for all that you do at our school. And we are so looking forward to getting back into that building and working with those kids, supporting those kids, helping them with math and ELA, all that. And thank you
for sure
for being here today as well.
Yes, you guys as well. Thanks, Mrs. Hamburg, for being vulnerable and sharing your story. That takes a lot of courage. So,
it's my pleasure.
Appreciate it. And Mrs. B, as always, thanks for being a great host. So, talk soon.
Okay, see you. Take care.
See you. Okay, bye.